Hello, Lisa Johnson here live from a freezing cold hotel. I'm in a meeting room in a hotel because my room's not ready yet. And it is freezing in here. So unfortunately, I'm going to do this interview in my coat. It's the only way I'm going to be able to deal with it. I'm hoping that we see Abby soon. Abby's going to come and she's going to interview me. So that's going to be an interesting one. I've seen some of your questions as well, and they're really good. So, Karen, can you at everyone, please, on here? And then let me see if I can see that Abby is on, because then I should be able to invite her to this. Let me see if I can find her on here. Oh, it's not showing she's on yet. Let's wait till she's on and then I'll invite her on. But how are you all doing anyway? Is everyone okay? Everyone enjoying all the success stories that you're watching? Just watched Matt's success story. I remember working with Matt a couple of years ago. Amazing person. Just one of those people that you just tell them what to do and they just go and do it. And that's why he's had so much success, because he's just followed the path. And I love that. It's been really good to watch him. I'm so excited to have so many of you here as well. Okay. Apparently Abby's on, so I'm going to go and get her. There she is. Let's see if I can add her. I've sent an invitation. So it should work. Let's see if it does. It's saying adding. Yes, there she is.
I'm on.
It's worked.
Mate, well, yes. I can't, I'm the least techiest person.
I can't hear you.
Asked me to do something.
I can barely hear you. It's very, very quiet, like you're whispering.
I don't know why.
Maybe it's just to me. Maybe everyone else can hear. Can everyone hear Abby? Can you tell me yes?
Can you let me know? There is literally nothing blocking me, mic or anything.
No, mine either, but I can hardly hear you. I can hear you.
Am I turned down? Like, do you need to put your volume
Charlie says she can hear, so it must be me. Hold on, let me see. Oh no, it's up as far as it can go. But if everyone else can hear, I will just listen very carefully.
Is there anything that I can't ask you on here? Can I just go for it?
Go for it.
I've got some questions, and also we've asked people in the group to ask questions, so there are a lot. I'm going to go back and forth, so if you see me reading, it's because I want to make sure I'm capturing everything.
Okay.
So you are one for, I think, talking about your backstory, but skirting over it, because it's, I suppose, easier in some ways to stay in the present of where you are now. But is there any one particular thing or one moment within your backstory that shapes the way that you approach business today?
There's lots of little bits. They're all negative, but that's why I approach business how I do. I guess the first one, I was bullied as a kid really badly. And so when I came into this online business, you know, being really visible is really, really scary. I've turned it up. It's not working. It can be really scary when you know you're going to be visible in business, especially if you've been bullied before. And I've always felt like a bit of a loner, if I'm honest. So I got a scholarship to a private school and I was bullied there. And I remember in the first week, I sat near the only other person that I knew, and I've written this in my book actually. I sat near this girl called Gabby, because we both went to primary school together. We didn't really know each other that much, but we both went to primary school together. And you know, when you don't know anyone else, you sit near the one person that's familiar. And that's what I did. And it was a table of 10. And then a month later, I was the bullied kid at the school. And she was quite popular. And she literally said, why are you even sitting here with us? How the hell did you come to sit at this table with us? And it shaped me so much, just that sentence, that I knew that in this life, there are people who make it and they do really well and they become whatever they become, popular or rich or any of these things. And they do that and they don't always help others to get there. In fact, what they mainly do is say, you can't sit with us. And I knew that I was going to do something with my life. And I didn't know what. I'm not going to pretend I knew. I didn't know. But I knew that I'd become successful in some way. And I didn't know how, because I was so scared of people. But I knew that if I did, I would bring others with me. I would never be like that. I would always build a table for other people. And so I think and then when I became online, I got bullied again really quickly by people online, because I don't know, they saw me as a threat. I don't know. I'm pretty smart, and I think people saw that, and they didn't like it very much. And so again, I was a bit like, okay, this is how people are seeing that business is done, that it has to be a competition between people, especially if I'm honest, women. It's always a bit of a competition. Like, we can't all do well, but we can. And I knew we could. And so my approach to business from those two things that happened to me, which were both negative, has always been, I will get other people to where I am. I won't just get there and look down on anyone. I will pull everyone up with me that can get there, so that they can do that to others, and then they can do that to others. And then there's this whole ripple effect of people doing amazing things. And that's my approach to business, and that's what I do now.
How do some of the things that still go on these days with the bullying and the trolling, how do those things actually make you feel? Because I hope you don't mind me saying, Lisa, the persona that you give off, and I know one from like behind closed doors,
yeah,
you seem very strong to everything, and that can make people think, well, they can say what they want to you and about you because it doesn't affect you, because I think they think you're just some kind of successful robot.
Yeah.
But how does it actually make you feel when people say
I'll
things?
be honest, it no longer makes me feel bad. It did used to, even up to last, like every time I launch like this, we get trolls. We're always going to. I'm a woman in the UK talking about money. We don't do that in the UK. And I'm honest about how much I earn, and I'm honest about what it takes, and about the pyramid schemes and the crap that's out there, and the courses where people don't get results and don't, no one even tries to help. And because of that, I'm always going to get trolling. Now, it used to hurt, but now it doesn't. Now what it does, like if you were watching this week, there was somebody that quite loudly started saying bad things about me online. I mean, I'm very used to it now, so it didn't really do very much. And it got lots of momentum with people writing underneath it, oh, she sounds awful, all the usual things, like she must be jealous of you. And I hadn't done anything. And whereas that used to make me go, oh, what have I done? Like, have I done something bad? Maybe I should, go and see what I can do to make things better, or defend myself online, or anything. I now only think, I wonder what she's gone through to make her be like this. I wonder how bad she's feeling about her own life and business to have to do this to someone else. And that literally is all I feel these days, because I think that when you work on your self-esteem like I have, it won't hurt you in that way anymore, because I know who I am, and I know how much integrity I have. And I think that the people close to me who I really care about know who I am, and therefore who else's opinion matters. I'm not going to stop doing something because of strangers on the internet.
Right. So this next one, go steady how you answer this, right? Pre-warning.
Okay.
There's a lot of people in here that are going through their own emotions and their own thought processes in this sort of challenge and launch process, and lots of people have got lots of different things to say. What is one of the most frustrating comments that you see in here where you think you just want to shake that person and make them understand like what you know differently?
Honestly, what if it doesn't work for me? I'll tell you why. Because 99% of it is about belief. And if someone says, what if it doesn't work for me? What they're actually saying is, it's an external thing that's going to make them make money. But it isn't. And I wish they knew. It isn't. It's them. It's just them. If they believe that they can go and make this money and follow a process, they'll do it. And the only thing that's going to stop them is that they don't believe they will. And if they don't believe they will, they'll wait for someone else to do it for them. They'll wait to be rescued in some way. I'm not going to rescue them. I'm just going to tell them what to do to go and do it. So when we look at, the people that have done well and the people that haven't done well in one-to-many, the people that have done well have taken radical responsibility for their own results. They've gone, okay, Lisa's giving me the information. I can see that information works because I've seen hundreds and hundreds of people say that they've made money from it. Might be in the thousands actually now. So it's like, I've seen all of these success stories, so I know it works. So if I just follow the process, it will work. And yeah, there might be some tough bits. Some things I might find harder. Some things I'll find easier than others. I might need to try things a few times. It won't be instant, but it will work. And the ones that do that, it works. But the ones that it doesn't work for, they get frustrated with their own inability to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
And you know, they're like, well, I just don't think it'll work for me. It works for all these other people because of, and then they give themselves a million reasons. And actually, no, it could work for you too, but you've given up on it already. Like, it hasn't worked in 2 weeks and therefore you've given up, or it's a bit scary to do this one thing. And so you've gone, no, well, I'm not doing it then. And I honestly believe that, I don't think my way is the only way, by the way. I think that there are a million ways to make money. I think that pretty much every strategy works. I think that the difference between this way is that we make people do it. Like, any strategy will work if you do it for long enough, but no one does it for long enough. People give up too quickly because we're in this instant gratification world. Whereas I knew when I started, I said, I'm giving myself 2 years. And I think that made me make 100 grand in 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was thinking so long term that it didn't matter if I didn't make money in the first 6 months or even a year. And so therefore I was putting everything into place, and that made me the money because I just believed that it would take longer than it did. And then I made money from it. But there's so many people that give up after 2 months or 3 months, and they're probably right around the corner of it working.
I know.
And it's so frustrating for me to watch, because I'm like, if you'd have just carried on. Like, I had a client once that was using Instagram. She was called Celine. She won't mind me telling you this. And she said, okay, I would like to make money from this Facebook group in the way that you do on One to Many. And I was like, okay, let's do it. We did it together. And after the first month, she was like, no one's buying anything. I was like, it's been a month, like, chill. It's going to take you some time. After 2 months, she was like, oh, it's just so much effort and I'm not seeing anything back. And I'm like, it's a process. It takes time. After the 3rd month, she gave up, and I wouldn't let her give up. I told her, no, you have to do it. And I made her do it for 1 more month. At the end of the 4th month, she made £45,000 from that one Facebook group, which is crazy.
And she could have
if she hadn't have done that 4th month, she'd have been gone. I don't know whether I've lost you or whether it's me.
Oh, I've still got you.
Oh, good.
Okay.
You're frozen on my screen, but I can still hear you. Yeah, so, you know, I could see that she was just around the corner of it, but she was about to give up. But if I hadn't been there and told her, just do it for 1 more month, just try it, she would have lost 45,000.
So it's easy to look at somebody like you and think you've got all your ducks in a row, all your shit together, and you are super successful, and you've obviously a perfect specimen of a human being, right?
I'm not sure I've got all the ducks in the row.
Well,
my ducks are off having a party.
People might be looking at you in the millions that you make and think you've potentially got more ducks in a row than them, because we look at ourselves and think about the things that we're not very good at.
Yeah.
So I want you to say, what is the one thing that you are terrible at but hasn't stopped you becoming successful?
Oh my God, there's millions of things. There's so many things. I'll do it more like from when I started, because now if I'm not very good at something, I just get someone else to do it. But now, when I first started, I couldn't do that. So the thing that I was really bad at was tech. And so, like, when I was trying to get my first funnel, it took me days and days. And now I can get a tech VA to do it in an hour, but it took me days. And I kept giving up in frustration because I hate the tech. And there wasn't as much out there to help you with it now. Like, we give templates in One to Many and all these kind of things. There was none of that. I had to just do it myself. And it was really, really hard. But I am the person that I'll just carry on until it works. If someone tells me you can't do it, I'll do it. And so I knew that it was going to be hard. I knew there was going to be things I'd have to figure out. I knew that it wasn't going to be easy, otherwise everyone would do it. it just takes resilience and continuing on when it gets hard. And so that's what I did with the tech until I made it work. And then I made money from that first launch after doing the tech, and I was like, I'm never doing tech again. I was going to get somebody else to do it.
I was going to say, now she's regressed back, because Lisa is, I don't know who's worse, me or Lisa. I'll say me because she's my boss. But I think Lisa is as bad in some levels. She also doesn't know where the link is, doesn't know how to get in the Google Drive.
No. I want to show you, like, I think you don't have to be professional to do things. I really believe that you can rock up and do most things messy. I'm just going to show you what I mean by that. So I'm in a hotel room, and this is the makeshift stand because I have forgotten to bring my tripod that I'm using to do this interview. A bottle on a cardboard box. There's always a way.
Let's look at your, not just your evolution, let's flick it for a moment.
Are you sure you've got time for this? I've seen loads of questions in that Facebook group.
Loads, mate. I'm literally going to be firing at you for an hour, so just, you might as well get comfortable. What is the evolution, would you say, of OTM? Let's just take a look at that for a second. So I remember Passion for Passive, and now we've got One to Many in its 2025 version,
yeah,
which is like insane. What do you think of that evolution from where it started to where it is today?
I love it. I'm so glad it's had that evolution, because it started as just like a little 6-week course, and then we realized that, oh, they also need to know this, so let's put that in it. Every year people tell us what they wish was in it, and we've added. And so it was like, oh, actually it needs to be 12 weeks. And then people were like, oh, but I'd love to know about the legals, I'd love to know about this. And I was like, but not everyone needs to know it. OTM University, give them optional things that are still included in the price. Let's add that in. And then it was like, people need the funnel, because I hate the tech. I want to give it to everyone else to make it easier. So we'll add that in. And it just gets better and better. And we realize what people need. Like, they need accountability this year. I'm seeing that people's attention spans have drawn to like nothing. And so we're going to help with that. And then we see so many people who are now neurodivergent. It's like, well, hold on a minute. How do we help with that? And it's always about, and I think that's why it's so successful and why it gets such good results compared to everything else in the market that teaches pretty much the same thing, is because we look at actually what the client needs. It's not about what we need. It's not about, you know, if it was up to me, of course it'd be easier for me to do it completely recorded, a 6-week course, charge the same, like everybody else charges between £2,000 and £5,000 for that, and walk away and wake up to more money. But it's not about that for me. That's one part of it, is having a business that I love delivering. Most of it is the impact that I can make on other people. And I can only make that impact if I make sure it's got everything that people need in it. And that's why it grows all the time to become the beast that it has now become. Because, you know, there are a lot of people that go in it. We sometimes have, you know, 500, 600 people, 700 people, more than that in this group. And so we need to make sure that everyone can be heard. And so it takes lots of different things to make that happen, like lots of different members of staff, lots of different coaches. That's why we put Renee in with the mindset coach, because we could see mindset issues. Like, it takes a lot.
Were you nervous though, when you think of people putting together their ideas now? They're going to come into One to Many, they're going to create courses and memberships and subscription boxes and all the things that they're going to like go away and create in there, and they'll be feeling a bit nervous. Were you nervous that it was going to get results? Like, did you just believe in it straight away, or did you have any doubts of like, oh my God, I hope this actually works?
Not a doubt. No, I remember the first time I was doing it when it was called Passion for Passive. And I was like, I'd gone from making quite a lot of money in that first year, 220,000, but I was working so hard and I was like about to give up because I was so burned out. And then when I worked out this way of doing things, and it made me like $1 million in year 2, and I was working so much less, all I was excited, because I could see all these other people going, I love my business, but I'm burned out. I love my business, but I can't take on any more people. I'm knackered. I'm not seeing my family. I've split up with my husband because I never see him, and all these things. And to me, I was just like, I've got the answer. And I could see all these people who were launching and they were making a little bit. They were doing well. People already in business, this is. And they're like, oh, I'm doing well, you know, I'm launching, but it's not doing as well as I want it to. And I could see why. And I'm not the person that can see that and not tell people, just do this, just do this. And so when I put that together, I was like, this is going to change the industry. I'm going to be able to make more people actually have something that works, because I've been in so many programs that weren't helpful, that only told you a piece of the information, or they kind of gave you a course and then just left you to it and answered no questions, and I had a million questions. And I felt so disappointed. And I was like, I can change the industry. I can change all of it by giving something that's actually good, that actually gets results for the people that want to do the work. Am I saying it gets results for everyone? No, I can't make everyone do the work. I can only be there to support the ones that do. And that's okay for me. Like, I'm all right with that. And so I was more excited than anything else. And I still am, because I still see people. I can see people in the group now going, I haven't got any time to do this. And I'm like, that's why you need it, because then you'll have time to do all the things you want to do. And we get one life. And I can't stand the thought that some people will get into that life and not have made the absolute most of this world that they can.
How much time realistically do you think somebody needs? This is one of the questions that I saw in the group.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. We get asked it a lot. I mean, it depends who you are.
Yeah.
If it's me, I'm really fast at doing things, and so not much time. But some people are slower, and they've also got the perfectionist gene. So it's going to take them longer, because you don't need to be a perfectionist in this. And so it really depends. I would say I wouldn't really want you to be doing it if you didn't have 2 to 3 extra hours a week that you could give this. I don't care if it's 10 o'clock at night. You know, we all make sacrifices. I had to. When I did it, I literally was doing it for my business from 5 to 6-ish in the morning, my lunch hour at work, and then 9 to 10 o'clock when the twins went to bed.
Yeah, I did.
Could do a little bit. Like, I had to work in between when I could for the first year. That's life, you know. But there's also priorities. I'm a big believer in priorities with time, money, everything. And, you know, I see people saying they haven't got enough time to work on their business, but then they're telling me about all the love at first sights they've watched. And I'm like, you have got time. You're just choosing that the business isn't important for you right now. And that's okay. But it is a choice that we make, what we spend our time on and what we spend our money on. Like, people say they can't afford a course, and there were 10 people that told me they couldn't afford the course. And I was like, yeah, if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. And then they bought Taylor Swift tickets for over 1,000. That's okay, but it's a priority.
Yes.
It's what your priority is. And my priority was always to change my life, because I didn't ever want to then have to think, can I afford this or this? Can I spend the time with the kids? I didn't want those questions. I wanted to be able to just say yes to everything. And so I put the work in at the beginning to be able to have more time afterwards. I'm so glad I did.
Right, okay. So, you know, I'm a little bit of a prepper. Don't worry, folks, about what that is. But let's just say there's been an apocalypse, right?
Oh my God, Abby loves an apocalypse.
I love an apocalypse. I'm ready for the apocalypse.
If there is an apocalypse, we all need to go to Abby's house, because she's got a well.
Don't come. You won't be welcome. You honestly won't be welcome. That's the one time I'm going to not be a people person, because it's every man for himself in that moment. But let's just say there has been an apocalypse and it has wiped out your business. 0 audience, 0 income. You are starting again.
Okay.
What 3 things would you do to go out there and make yourself a business with some money again?
I would have a look around and see what people needed the most, and then offer it, whatever it is. I would start to grow an audience really quickly by showing up as often as I could in whatever place I've decided to show up, talking about the thing that I know, so that I could become known as the person for that one thing. I don't think anyone should ever try and become a person. Be the person for it. And then I would give a little bit free value, so people could see that I knew my stuff, and then would buy the thing from me, whatever it was. They're the 3 things I'd do. If I was starting from, people always say, like, if you were starting from scratch now, would you still do it the same? Honestly, no. I wasted a lot of time. I would start an email list and a funnel on day one and just get on with it and not spend 6 weeks trying to like work out what's the perfect funnel. Like just get something out there so you can see if your audience like it and then tweak it, then change it afterwards. I also would sell, I didn't sell for 6 months. I grew an audience and then started to sell. I wouldn't do that now. I'd sell from day one and to whoever would listen to me, and then grow an audience and do launches. So I'd still sell one-to-one. It's why I've got Charlie doing the masterclass on how to make money now, because I don't want people to be like, oh, I can't sell anything, I'm growing my audience. You're going to still sell stuff. I've lost you.
I'm just having, yeah, sorry, you're back. I'm just having a little look at the questions from others now as well. So if I'm looking away, that's all I'm looking at. So what was your biggest mindset shift that took you from being in poverty and being in that sort of debt situation to earning multiple 7 figures annually?
Yeah. My biggest mindset shift was money mindset. I'm sure it's different for everybody. I didn't really have imposter syndrome or things like that people have now. But I had real bad money mindset because I grew up without any. And so I thought it was really hard to get. And I'm not somebody that is very good at writing positive affirmations and telling myself things. I feel like I'm lying to myself. The only thing I can do is look for proof. And so I went and looked for evidence that other people that came from nothing make lots of money. And I found it everywhere. And that was all I needed. Because if someone can do something, we can all do something, right? Like if one person can do it, another person can do it. And once I knew that, then I was fine. Because I was like, okay, well, they've made money and they don't look anything special. And so I'm going to go and do it and make money. And so that's what I did. And I really, really hope that people look at me these days and go, she doesn't seem anything special. She just seems like a normal person. If she can make 4 or 5 million every year, I definitely can make the 200 grand that I want to make. Because you can. You've
got a big business, Lise, with lots of moving parts, lots of people, lots of things going on, lots and lots and lots of clients. Do you ever get overwhelmed? And if you do, what do you do to sort of cope with that or come out of that state?
Yeah, I do still. I think it's easy to get overwhelmed these days. It's really noisy out there. It's really noisy with people shouting about what you should do. And that makes me overwhelmed. What I do is I go back to basics every time. I go, what is the outcome that I want? Let's say I want to make an extra 20,000. What is the plan, the step-by-step plan to get there? And I will write down the plan and I will follow it religiously and I will ignore all the noise. And actually, I see that with my clients too. The ones that just block out the noise and just follow the steps, they get there. They don't always get there in 3 months or 6 months or a year, but they get there. And that's important.
Okay. So one of the other questions from over on the Facebook group, I'm just looking at different things, is I see a lot of posts on Facebook saying that you do not need a funnel. Is this true?
Yeah, you don't have to have a funnel. There are a million ways to do things. The funnel is the quickest way. So there are lots of different ways. You could just use Instagram, for example, and sell to people in the DMs. Or you could have a website and hope people find it using SEO. Or you could go out on the street and give out leaflets. There's a million ways to advertise things. But the quickest way, because we've got social media now and we've got email lists and we've got systems, is to systemize it so that you're not doing any of those things. A robot is.
It's interesting. And I don't want to answer that for you. It's just how you read a question and can interpret it like in different ways. For me, everything that you're doing is a funnel. I think people are thinking of it in this technical.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, in this technical way, which is obviously the quickest way, as we would both know. But there are so many different mechanisms that I would see as a funnel, even if somebody made.
Yeah, because you're still funneling people into seeing you so that they can hear your message and what you're selling and then buy it. However you do it. I suppose the funnel that I think people are talking about is an email list funnel. Yeah. And I think that's just such a quick way of doing it. And also, we don't own social media. We've seen TikTok disappear for a day and millions of pounds be lost. We've seen Facebook go down. In this group, we've seen Facebook like muck about with us. so many things can go wrong. Whereas when you have an email list, you own it. And every single person on that list has as much chance as everyone else to open it, because there's no algorithm there.
If somebody knows that they need to grow an audience right now, but they don't really want to go down a Facebook group type audience growing vibe, what one other option would you give them? I know there's many, but just for the sake of an interview, just give one.
I think one of the best ways that I would do is I would write a presentation, like a training presentation on the thing that I wanted to tell people about that I knew. And I would pitch and go and give that presentation in different people's audiences. And the funnel freebie, and have people come into my email list that way and not use Facebook at all. You don't have to use social media. Like, we teach all the different ways. Social media is one.
How can people AI proof their businesses?
I think it's so important that they do. I think that the biggest thing that we need to do now is realize that the only brands that will be able to sell long term are personal brands. And that means it's you. People buy from people. People don't buy from AI. They buy from people. Now, we can use AI to help us do things. We've even got a module about AI in the program, because I think it's important that we use it. So we can use AI to help us do things, to be our assistant. But no one's ever going to buy from someone that doesn't have opinions, thoughts, empathy, all of the things that we have. And that's why personal brands are working so well right now, because all of the big brands are using AI. And so people are going, who can I buy it from that I know and trust and like, and buying smaller. And that's a brilliant thing for us, because we're all personal brands. AI, there is a place for AI, but it can't take over your business. You need to be at the helm of it. You need to be the face of it. And if you're not the face of it, someone needs to be the face of it.
Yeah, or a brand needs to be created to sort of front it.
Yeah.
What I've just read a good one. Let me find it. Which industries have the highest earnings in terms of courses?
Yeah. So there's three types of business, especially in a cost of living crisis or an economy crisis or anything where the market is tough, that work well. And that is anything that delivers health, wealth, or peace of mind. If it fits into one of those things, you will be very successful. Health doesn't just mean like physical health. It includes mental health and well-being. And peace of mind can be anything from feeling like your kids are okay and that their education is correct, to insurance. But helping people with wealth, health, or peace of mind, you will always do well in it. So whatever you do, you can do anything that's not those things, but if you can link it to one of those things, and we usually can in the messaging, you'll do better.
What if what somebody wants to do is really, really niche?
Brilliant.
I love
the
it.
niche the better. There's a phrase in America which is, the riches are in the niches. We can't say that because it doesn't rhyme with niche, but it means the same thing. And it basically means the more niche you can go, the better. And I really do believe that's true. I think people look for the person that can help them with their problem, or them with the thing that they want the most. And the more niche you can be, the more likely people will come to you. I learned that lesson when I was a wedding planner. And it was so, I didn't want a niche for ages, because I was like, oh, I don't want to pigeonhole myself. I'll get rid of all those people that aren't in that niche that want to work with me. But as soon as I niched, we did really, really well.
I can confirm this from my own world. The nichest, the books that are speaking to the smallest of audiences in your mind, actually so specific, are the books that sell the most.
Yeah.
Copy.
Always.
So interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's because that person specifically knows you are speaking like to them. So we love a niche. We love a niche. Okay, so how important is the vision and the why before you start? And I'm going to add my own bit to this question, which is, and please be kind, Versus your opinions on vision boards as well, just in its singularity.
How kind do I have to be?
Kind.
Okay, so I don't think you need to know your vision and mission at the beginning. I think you need to know why you want to do it, but that why could be as simple as I really need to pay the bills. That why could be as simple as I want 4 more holidays a year. It doesn't have to be that you want to like save the world or help 1 million women by 2027 or whatever the latest thing is that we're supposed to say out there.
Yeah.
I think it's really important that you understand why you want it though, because that why is what will help you when you get to an obstacle and you it's tough and it's a bit trickier than you wanted it to be. You'll move through it if it's like that. Vision boards. There's a place for vision boards. However, I have never loved them because I think we are people that like to put things in boxes. And so if we want something and we don't think we can have it now, if we say, I'm going to put that on my vision board, whether it's a new car, a holiday, a course, whatever, I'm going to put that on my vision board, then that has then clicked into place a little box that goes, we don't need to think about that anymore. We've put it in the place, that nice little pin board over there, so we don't have to think about it. The reason I never had vision boards is because if I want something, I will go get it. I will work out how to make the money to go get it. I will work out how to make the time to go and have that thing. But I saw people in the first year of business with me and people saying, oh, I really want first class flights. I was like, yeah, I do too. And so they went, oh, we'll put it on the vision board, which basically tells their subconscious, you don't need to think about this for the foreseeable future. Mm-hmm. I'd go, well, let's go and find out how much are first class flights, because I don't even know. They didn't even know either, but I'd go find out how much it was. And then I'd go, okay, well, I now know it's 6,000. How can I make 6,000? What's the thing that I said I was going to sell? Yeah, but I'd have to like get 20 clients for that. What could I sell instead that is one? I only need one client that will pay me 6,000. And I'd find a way and I'd sell it to them. And then I would go and buy the first class tickets. Those people, it's 4 years later now, it's still on the vision board because they've forgotten they wanted it. Because it's just been sat on a vision board for them to look at and go, look how pretty it is. Just do things. Action of any kind, even if it's wrong action, will create movement. And that movement will create eventual results. But if we do nothing because it's on our vision board, then we'll never get there. It's as simple as that. That's why I don't love them. I get how they can be inspirational for some people to look at, but you need urgency to tick some of those things off. Otherwise, they'll be there forever. It's like people say, it's not the right time for me this year. I'm going to do it next year. I've had people say that to me for 6 years in a row. It's not ever going to be a perfect time to do anything. Anyone that's ever had a kid, how many times have we gone, it's not the right time? It would never have a kid.
3 times, mate.
Like, life is not going to align in a perfect way so that you can do a course or make some money or start a business or have a child or anything. You're just going to have to do it and then see how the dust settles around it.
What common misconception or conceptions do you think that people have around you before they get to know you?
I think that they think that all I care about is money. Because I talk about it a lot, and not many women do online because we've been told it's vulgar to talk about money, haven't we? It's all right to like talk about the sexual position you were in last night with your mates in the pub, but God forbid you ask what someone's salary is. Bizarre to me. But because of that, because I talk about money in national newspapers, I'm the wealth expert for the Daily Mail. Like, because I talk about money, people think it's all I care about. What's really interesting is I care about freedom. I care about choices. I care about women not having to stay with partners that hit them because they can't afford to leave, or people that they don't love because they can't afford to leave because they don't have the money. I care about people that are staying in a job where they're being bullied by their boss because they don't have the means to be able to leave it and do their own thing. Mm-hmm. I don't care about money at all. I care about the choices that money gives us.
Did I ever tell you what I thought about you?
Are you going to now? Most people tell me that, oh, I really didn't like her when I first
met. I did not like you. No, I did not like you. I thought you were a bit paranoid. So, you know how you're one for posting things on the internet, calling stuff out and things like that? Me and Lisa, I daren't tell you too much about it, but we were involved in a bit of a book process back in the day.
Remember that?
Do you remember it? And I'd never met Lisa before, but we were somehow embroiled in a Facebook Messenger chat together. And Lisa was sort of telling people how it was a con and there was something not right about it. And Lisa is a legal professional underneath all of this. She's got all this legal training. And so her default setting is to investigate things, and she wants things to be truthful and fair and right. And like, you know, she wants everybody to understand what's good in this space and what's bad in this space. But I didn't know this about Lisa. I'm just thinking she's this paranoid woman in this Facebook group that's investigating this thing I was really excited about. She was so right.
I was right. I was trying to tell you all, stop putting your money into this. It's a con. I can see it's a scam. And no one would listen to me. I was like, what's up with this weird woman? And then everyone lost all this money.
I know. And I did just think to myself, gosh, what's up with her? Why does she keep going on?
It happens a lot. People also think, like, people do say to me, Katie Hill, you remember Blue Peter, Katie Hill?
Yeah.
She was a client of mine. I've had so many clients like her that have said to me, she said this at my book launch, I just didn't like you at the beginning. I thought you were lying about everything. Her and her friends used to gather it every week and go, have you seen that stuff Lisa's saying now? She's pretending she's made all of this money. And they didn't believe me. They thought I'd like made up this whole thing. And that I was just like full of crap. And then she started looking a bit more into it. And then she realized I was telling the truth. And then she worked with me. But so many people say at the beginning, I didn't like you at the beginning. And I think it's because I trigger them. And I've been triggered by people like me in the past. Like, why is she earning this money? And why is she telling me I can do this? I can't do this. And it triggers something in you. And actually, I now listen to those triggers, because if I look at somebody and it makes me go, oh, she's really annoying me, I now listen and I go, why is she annoying me? What has she got that I want that I'm not going for? Because that's what it really means.
What do you wish more people would ask you, but they rarely do?
That's a good question.
I thought so. I wrote that.
Here, it's hard to be truthful when I'm selling a course about money, but I'm going to say it anyway. I wish people would ask me, does money really make you happy?
Does money really make you happy?
No, it doesn't. It helps you with some things like choices, but I really didn't believe that. So people used to say, people who were earning a lot of money would say to me, it doesn't change, it's not going to make you happy, it's not going to turn you into a different person, it's not going to like change the world for you, you'll still have like problems and difficulties. And I promise you, in my head I'd be going, no, that's easy for you to say because you've got money. I didn't have a pot to piss in. So I was like, it would solve all my problems if I made money. I would be happy. I would want for nothing else. And then I got money, a lot of money, and it didn't change who I was at all. It didn't change. It did solve some problems, if I'm honest, and it did open some choices, which I think is important, but it didn't change the core of who I was. And actually I had to work on me to make me happy. It was nothing to do with anything extrinsic like money.
Who is one to many? Most definitely in a million years, not for.
People that think I'm somehow magic, and if they pay me money, they'll magically make £1 million. That has happened before. Damn. It's happened that people have literally given me money and then gone, well, I haven't made any money, like after about 2 months. And I'll go, okay, well, have you followed the plan? Well, no. And I'm like, oh, I don't go buy Nike trainers, Nike, I never know what it is, and then go, oh, I'm really annoyed with these trainers, I'm not 2 stone lighter. Like, I still have to do the running. That's who it's not for. People that don't really believe they have to put the work in, because I make no bones about it. I don't lie about this program. You are going to work hard. You are going to work hard in the first year. I'm not going to be like all those other people that tell you, you know, you can make £1 million in 6 weeks by doing nothing. It won't be like that. You will be working hard, and it could take you longer than you want. But when you get there, it will be worth it because you'll have a long-term sustainable business model.
I'm interested in the answer to this one, only because I can't call how you're going to answer it. How do you keep yourself motivated and accountable? And the reason I'm struggling with this one is because in all the years I've known you now, working with you in every capacity that somebody could possibly work alongside you, you've never, ever not been motivated. So it's almost like I've no idea what you do in the background because you've just never not been motivated.
Can I tell you my biggest motivator? Death.
Oh, that's grim.
I know. But just Steve Jobs said the same thing. And I was like, yeah, I get him. That's how I feel.
What do you mean, death?
We won't be able to be motivated in 60 years' time. We won't be able to make the choices that we have right now forever.
Bloody hell, Lise. That's a
I know
bit
it's
miserable.
deep, but it's true. Like, we have got today, we've got right now to be able to change our lives, to be able to change our world, to be able to have an extraordinary life and have the most amazing experiences. And when I think about that, I'm like, do stuff now, do stuff right now, because tomorrow isn't promised. My best friend died, as you know, 2 years ago, and he hasn't had the chance to do all the things that I'm doing, but I have, you have, all these people listening have got choice to go and do something, and they might not do it, and that's such a bloody waste, because it's like they could. There are other people out there that can't. So we have to do all the things we want to do with no excuses and no maybe one days. Today is that day. What if there isn't a maybe one day? What would you do today if you knew you only had a year? You'd do it. You wouldn't keep faffing about and going, oh yeah, but I'm not sure I'm confident, or what if it doesn't work? You just do it. So that's what motivates me. And the things that motivate me, if I'm honest, at the beginning it was money. Money really motivated me because I needed it. I couldn't put food on the table. Like, money was important. Once I had more money, then if I'm honest, my motivation changed too. Let's show all those people who were bullying me, that said I'd never amount to anything, then I will amount to something. It was more like a 2 fingers up to them. Once I didn't care about that anymore because I'd done all the inner work, then my motivation changed to others. Like, there's a lot that I want to do for people in this world. I need money to do it.
What about this next question? Let me just find it. What's the single most common mistake you see businesses make when trying to scale their revenue, and how can we avoid it?
I think they get complicated. I've done the same thing. So that's why I understand the mistake. I think they try and make things complicated. They start building an empire by adding a million things in. Like, if somebody's like, oh, I want to make more money, I'll just make another course, and they've got 3 courses already. Instead of just doing the really obvious thing of getting more audience, more people to buy the things they've already got. Like, if you have 3 really good things, don't add another 12 things to it. Instead, get more people to buy those 3 things. That's the biggest mistake I see.
Just having a little look for some more questions that I haven't got to yet. How do you keep a track of all your ideas? And you do have a lot, Lise.
I've got a notes folder on this phone. My biggest ideas come on holiday, as you all know. My team hate it when I go on holiday because it's the space that I get. And then as soon as I'm silent and quiet, my head goes, you could do this and this and this. And I come up with all these ideas. And so they hate it now. They're like, is she on the plane yet? Because we're going to start getting things.
The problem is you have a lot of holidays as well, mate. So it's just like...
There's all these things come through. But it works. And then we don't do them all at once. Like, sometimes I'll say something to the team and the team will say no. And they're right a lot of the time. So we don't do everything at once, but they're there in my notes folder and they might be done one day.
I like this one. Okay, I'll read out how it's written as well. I don't want this to sound arsey and I can't think of a nice way to put it. So here goes. Do you ever think or ever worry that you are encouraging people to sell their knowledge, but that knowledge might not actually be that great? Since joining this Facebook group, I've been bombarded with so many different ideas, so many different people coming out with different things that I've got absolutely no idea what's good and what's rubbish. So what are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, no, not really, because the only thing we can do as humans is to tell the knowledge from our experience. What I do say to people is, especially if it's health, anything to do with health, like, make sure you do say to people, this is just from my experience, this is what's happened to me. So for instance, let's take the skinny jabs that are out there at the moment, Ozempic, all of those different things, Mount Duro. There will be people that believe that if I'm helping people to sell that knowledge of how they used it and what worked for them, that is a bad thing, because they don't believe that you should be taking those jabs. But there will be other people that really need that knowledge at this moment in time. It's not for me or anyone else to say what's right or wrong, or what knowledge is good or bad, because people are mainly selling it from their experience. And you can have 10 different opinions of knowledge on one subject. Let's say weight loss. There's 10 different ways of selling weight loss or more. And what might be right for one person, that might be just the thing they needed, will be wrong for someone else. So I don't really worry about that, no. I think that the right clients find the right people.
I'm just having a little look through more questions. I thought that was a great answer, by the way.
It's a good, I like these kind of challenges.
Yeah.
I really liked it this morning when someone put in the group, how many people have actually been successful? Do you have like a figure? Because if no one asks me that, I can't tell them why I can't give them it.
Yeah.
And people are thinking these things and no one dares ask. And I'm really happy for people to ask the hard questions, because I'll just be honest, no, we don't have that. Like, we can't get that because people don't tell us. In fact, just in this launch, 4 people who I had no idea had made 6 figures after working with me, I've found out have, because they've put their success story in. Up until that time, they did it 2 years ago. They've not got in contact with me to tell me nothing. I've only learned that they've been successful from this launch, and that happens all the time. So I never have a figure.
It's interesting though, isn't it, how we would put that sort of question into this space. But like, let's say lots of people have bought a coat from Marks and Spencer's. How many people walk back into Marks and Spencer's just to let the people who work there know they really like their coat, or that it's
I think it's because
it's just interesting.
Yeah, I think people think it's a science. Like, you will buy a course and you will either make money or you will not make money. And it isn't. It doesn't matter if 99% of people failed doing a course if one person made money, because that means everyone can.
Name me one direct thing that has been put into one-to-many purely based on the fact that it was asked for because of struggles that people were having.
Say it again.
What is the one thing that has been put into one-to-many that has been because of struggles that people were having? So direct feedback that you've taken on board and put something in.
There's a lot, but I'd say the funnel was the obvious one, because so many people were struggling with it. Also, we had accountability pods at one point because people said they wanted smaller groups, but then everyone said they didn't want smaller groups. They wanted to talk in the main group, and so we took them away. And then people said they still needed that accountability, so now we're doing accountability calls with little Zoom, a bit like we did for the big ideas session, little Zoom calls. So we always take feedback on board, and we always try and add things in as best we can. Somebody just asked a question there, and I like it.
Oh yeah, sorry, I can't.
Which was, do you tell people if you don't think their idea will work? Yes, especially on the feedback forms. A lot of mine are like, I'd reconsider this. Maybe you could do this with your knowledge instead. But I am also not going to lie that I have told 2 people not to do something. They've done it anyway, and it's made over 500,000. So
you can't always call it, can you? That's the thing.
Yeah.
What, if any, best practices that the gurus sort of tell us to follow do you completely deliberately choose to ignore and break?
All of them. All of them. So people would say to put a price, let's say 1111 for a course, and keep it at that for 5 days, and then put it up to 2222, and keep it at that for 5 days, and then put it to 3333. I have no qualms that it works. Of course that works. Is it ethical? no. Like, there's quite a lot of things that I won't do. Another thing that I won't do is a money back guarantee. So pretty much every coach I've had said, do a money back guarantee, but put so many caveats on it that they'll never get the money back guarantee. Like, no, I can't guarantee anyone will make money from something, and I'm never going to pretend that I can. Like, it's not the way to do it. I think people are smart. I think people don't mind hard work, and I think people realize that what they put in something, they get out of it. I'm not going to try and con intelligent people. It doesn't make sense to do these things. And so pretty much everything that they say to do, I don't do, which is why I'm a pariah and I have no other friends in this industry, because I just refuse.
You do have friends. Do you know, she's so offensive, folks, honestly. It's great, isn't it? She'll tell you all the time she's alone and she doesn't have friends. And her mates are sitting there going, are you for real?
Okay, I do have friends, but you won't see me. I'm not that person that you see hanging out with tons of multi-7-figure entrepreneurs because it looks good. And
she likes us poorer folks.
I like normal people. One of the things I really don't do, and that I haven't done, this answers the question. Most people will tell you, hang out with the big cheeses who are the most popular online, take a photo with them and put that you're BFFs, and then you'll make more money. And I'm sure that's true. I will not do it. I will hang out with those multi-7-figure entrepreneurs. There's one on right now that's way more successful than me that I just saw watching, called Gio. And I'll hang out with him because I like him, not because of how much money he's got. And I'll hang out with somebody who hasn't got any money because I like them. I don't believe this, like, you know, the 5 people that you surround yourself with is how successful you'll be. I surround myself with 13-year-old twins. Like, nah.
You do make me laugh when you come out with that. Every time I roll my eyes and I just think, yeah, no, got no friends, whatever. I'm just trying to see if I've missed any of these questions. I probably have, because there's that many of them and some of them are quite long.
If there are, I'm going to go back on them and I'm going to just answer the questions.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. So if you've asked one that hasn't been answered, Lisa's going to come back through and go, there's obviously such a lot in there. Lisa, we've been on nearly an hour, mate, so I should probably say, why do you think, as a final question, that this year, instead of a vision board or making another excuse or sort of sitting there wondering if it's going to make them successful or not, what would you say to people about just coming into One to Many this year and just giving it a bloody go?
I'd say that they're like, here's what I'd say. Don't bet on the course. Don't bet on me. Bet on you. Bet on your ability to be able to learn something and make it work for you. It's not about me or the course. It's not about what other people's success has been. It's about you. And once you start believing in your ability to do things, you'll do more than this course. You'll do more than make money for this course. It will change everything, because all those things that you've always wanted to do that are nothing to do with money, you'll do them too, because you'll realize it's not about us. It's all about you.
I love that. Well, that's it. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you for doing this.
No worries. I'll go see if my room is ready.
Bye.
I'm talking tomorrow in Cardiff at I'm an ambassador for a brilliant charity called Bullies Out. If you are not a member of Bullies Out, to donate is only £5 and you can become a member for an entire year. So if you want to go on to bulliesout.com, if you've enjoyed this challenge and you're not coming into One to Many and you don't have loads of money, but you want to support in some way, if you go on to bulliesout.com and you pay £5, you'll become a member of those, and that will make a massive difference. I will see you later.
Bye, folks.
Yeah.